Hiyo, welcome to GGKCS, a multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is Sunday, the 9th of January, 2020, and it's not the 9th, Cece. You didn't update the show notes. It's the 16th of January, 2022, and this is episode 476. I'd like to say a big welcome back. Love y'all to all returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for understanding last week that I just could not record. I'm going to get into live stuff, so if you don't want to watch live stuff, you can fast forward. So, Dammy got COVID, and yes, they're vaccinated. Yes, they mask. This variant is so powerful and strong that it's beating all of our stuff. And we're dropping like flies at work. This last week was a smidge better, but the week prior, like the days leading up to when I should have recorded last week, we were doing the jobs of multiple people, those of us who were not sick, and it's just been really tough. And this week has been tough as well, but I didn't want another week to go by without recording for y'all. So, thankfully, Dammy has recovered well. Thankfully, as we are discovering, if you have the vaccine and get this new variant, it tends not to be as strong and causing as many hospitalizations as people who are not vaccinated. The exception to that, and I'm going to get on a rant here, and I'm not sorry about it, as even people from the CDC have said, the people that are getting extremely ill and having severe reactions, having to be hospitalized and are dying, are the elderly and the people who have chronic health issues. And there are so many people who think that is acceptable, and it is not. I am one of those people. If I get it, it could be bad. It could be really bad because I have several severe chronic health issues. That does not make my life less worthy. I am not worth less. My life is not worth less because I'm chronically ill. And if you think it is, goodbye. I don't need that in my life. And I am so tired of the people who just think that we are acceptable collateral, or not collateral, acceptable, I don't know, I can't find the word. We're acceptable losses, and that's not true. It is not true. So please wear your masks. Please get vaccinated. Please be smart and safe, if not for yourself, for people like me and people like your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents and the elderly population. This thing's not going away anytime soon. The only way we can make advancements in dealing with this is if everybody does what they should do and respects their fellow humans and does what needs to be done. Rant over. Yeah. So, in addition to dealing with all of that, because, there was all of that to deal with. I know I've mentioned before, I've been having issues with my fingertips going numb. If I knit for too long, or I knit with too larger size needles or thicker yarn, and it's just progressively gotten worse. And I was having some really bad elbow pain as well, that was my elbow that just popped if you heard it, which is not and something new or abnormal for me. It's just getting worse. And I've started to see a chiropractor for the first time in my life. And I was trying to tell her about how bad my elbow pain had been this last week when I saw her on Friday. And so she started checking, and she's like, Cece, this is coming from your shoulder. Well, like 50 gazillion years ago, when I was in high school, so like probably like 26 years ago, I tore my right rotator cuff. And they actually went in to do surgery and couldn't repair it. So now I'm sure nowadays, if this has happened today, they could have, but then they could not. So I'm going to have probably some imaging done is the plan. Of course, this was all after work on Friday and things are closed. So I see my chiropractor again tomorrow. And so we're going to hopefully be able to make out a plan. But, until we see like what's going on inside, I'm having to be extremely careful about how much movement I do with my shoulder, because it's bleeding down into my elbow and into my hands. Do you know how hard it is to knit and cross stitch without moving your shoulder? Cross stitch is a little easier because I can do it in like small movements. Knitting tends to be larger movements, and so it's a lot more difficult. So I'm not stopping crafting because it's my sanity. Y'all know this. It's my sanity. It's the only way I stay sane. But if my progress on things is slower, that's why. I'm trying to do it in small bouts and take breaks. I might stitch a row or two on Edinburgh Castle and then stop and take a few minutes break, or knit a row or two and stop and take a break. So, I told my chiropractor she cannot make me stop crafting because I will lose my mind. And she said, no, I'm not the type of person that says, let's take away things. We're going to figure out how to make it work so you can do the things you need to do and love to do, but we also treat your body in the way it needs to be treated. So I have a shoulder ice pack thing now that I'm wearing multiple times a day. And hopefully doing that in combination with just trying to keep it at rest when I don't have the need to be using it will allow me to continue crafting. All right, y'all, my intros are not normally this long, but there was a lot I had to say. So we're going to get started now. I've got 2 weeks worth of crafting to show you. I've got some FOs. I think I have like 5 FOs maybe. They're all very small, but 5 FOs and lots of other stuff. So let's get started. Here we go. And now let's talk about what is on my needles. First up in my kitty bag from Little Fish Stitches. I'm out of practice, y'all. It's been 2 weeks. I am working on yet another pair of shorty fingerless mitts. And I'm trying to find, there we go. These are from a free pattern that I modified myself. And it's on US 3s, 3.25 mil needles. And the yarn for this pair is Blueberry Chick Yarn Kiowa in the Lavender Sorbet with Sprinkles colorway. I have not woven in the ends on the first one that I finished. And so I'm trying to like tuck it so y'all can like get a more accurate view of what they look like. All right. Okay, excuse the strings. So there is the first pair. So this is the Lavender Sorbet with Sprinkles colorway. And then I have cast on the second one. And made a little bit of progress on it. So that's the first thing on my needles. All right, let me put this back in this bag here. And then the second thing that I'm going to show you is my year-long project. And it is in my project bag from Nerdbird Makery. And let me get the cover sheet here so I can show you. I'm gonna show you that picture because that shows it better. This is the Dust of Snow Wrap by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade. And I am knitting this with yarn from the advent calendar that Silver D and Friends gifted to me over December. I'm on US 6's 4mm needles. So I have completed week 2 of this. I have not started on week 3. So you can see I finished color 1 and I've just started bringing in color 2. On one edge, so on both edges, it has this attached I-cord. One edge, it has this little row of eyelets. And on the other edge, it just decreases in. So let me tell you what these yarns are. The color 1 that I finished is Barocco Folio in the 4 Pearls colorway. And color number 2 that I just started with is Into the World hand-painted Pacoco sock in the bigger on the inside colorway. So I need to get week 3's knitting done. And let's see. So that'll be, I need to do 12 rows a week on this to keep on track. I will not get into color 3. Everything that I knit on this for week 3 will be in color number 2. So, making progress on that. Those rows are longer. They are like, I think 100 stitch rows. So, you know, if I can maybe do 1 or 2 rows a night on it, that will get me where I need to be to stay on track with it for finishing it at the end of by the end of the year. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And now we're going to talk about my finished projects. So first up is preemie hat number 1 for 2022. So I am continuing with my my project of knitting a preemie hat every week. And I do those on Sundays. So I've got preemie hat number 3 over here ready to work on today. This is from my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on our website, javapearldesigns.com. And as always, everything we talk about in this week's episode is on our website, our show notes, GGKCS.com. I used US 6's 4mm needles, and the blue is Knitology Glowing Worsted in the Pachyderm colorway, and the pink is Brene Cotton Tots in the Strawberry colorway. So this was preemie hat number 1 for the year. And then preemie hat number 2 for the year. The multicolor is Patton's Fab DK in the Pebble colorway. And the solid is Vitellana Ambient Worsted in the Venezia colorway. So there's 2 finished preemie hats for the year. And then I'm not going to put these on, especially with my shoulder, but I finished a pair of fingerless mitts, of the shorty fingerless mitts that I was showing you that I was working on in the other segment. This yarn is Knit Picks Felici in the Bookshop colorway. And I think it's a lot of fun. It totally has the vibe of a bookshop. So those were my first 3 FOs for the year. And then I'm going to show you FOs 4 and 5 in the next segment. So not bad start to the year. It's only the 16th and I have 5 FOs. That's like an FO every 3 days. Pretty awesome, I think. All right, so there's these last 2 weeks FOs, and let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for FlossTube. A significant chunk of time elapsed between the last segment and this segment because my groceries were delivered. But for y'all, it was instantaneous. So, first up, let me show you 2 FOs. Oops, it was already unzipped. Okay, let me... Hold that thought. There it is. They're buried in here with the finishing stuff. So I'm trying to, because I have not fully finished these yet, but I'm going to show you that I've got an idea of what I'm doing. So these are from the Black Needle Society Season of Love. This was in the nice list box. So I started stitching one just on 14 count white Aida. And I was a good chunk of the way through before I found out that this is too big to fit in the finishing stuff. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep stitching it because I'm already so much done. So what I think I'm gonna do is put like a piece of felt on the back and a ribbon, and that way it can still be a Christmas ornament. I used DMC Etoile C318 for this, so it's the silver. It's kind of a purpley silver though. So there is FO number 1, of this one, which is to actually FO number 4 for the year. And then I pulled out a 20 count Aida. See, like I said, it's not fully finished yet. And it'll be finished in this with a ribbon, and there's a snowflake charm that goes on it as well. I used that same Etoile, but then I also used C603 for the pink, just to give it a fun, different look. So that the two snowflakes as ornaments will look different. So this was the second FO from this pattern and FO number 5 for the year. They were both very, very quick to stitch. I'm not sure if there are any in the Black Needle Society vault. But if so, you can use the code JavaPearl5, JAVAPURL 5, to get 5% off of everything in the vault. So, okay, this is my another year-long project in my Outlander to Better to Sleep project bag from Stitch Toolbox. Stitch Toolbox. I read the first letter and then went on to the second half of the word. Okay, so this is also, everything except for the project bag is from Black Needle Society. So I am doing the Modern Folk Embroidery, The River. My modification is I'm taking this whole motif down here and flipping it upside down, and it's going to go up here at the top instead of the letters and numbers. And I need to do 185 stitches a week on this. I have done weeks 1 and 2. I have not done week 3 yet, to finish by the end of the year. Okay, I'm using steel. My word, where are my words today? Steel City Stitcher 16 count Aida in the Crimson Peak colorway. I'm using Forbidden Fiber Co. in the River of Life colorway, and then the needle minder is the New Year, New Start all from Black Needle Society. So, I'm sorry that I'm having trouble holding this. Forget, my needle's coming loose. There we go. Now you can kind of see. So you can see I've started in on some of the design there. And it's so pretty. I love this fabric, and I love this floss, and I love this pattern. So yeah, 185 stitches a week on this. And it will be done by the end of the year. So I need to stitch week 3s. I'm counting that my weeks are starting on, sorry, I have my Black Needle Society planner over here. So my weeks are starting on Saturdays. So yesterday was the start of week 3. So I have an entire week to get week 3s done. Okay, and then finally in my Winnie the Pooh project bag from Knit Run Dig, I am working on Edinburgh Castle by Terra Luna Stitchery. I was so hoping I was going to be at the end of the row of pages for today, and I am, but it's not finished. I was hoping to have finished the end of the row, but it did not happen. So I am doing this as my 25/7 project. All the details of everything I'm using for this are in the show notes at ggkcs.com. My weeks end on Fridays, and that is when I tally up the total number of stitches and the percentage done. I post daily to my Instagram and Facebook stories that day's progress, and then on Fridays I post to my feed with the details of how much I've done. So on Friday when I stopped, which I've also stitched on this yesterday, But Friday when I stopped, it would have been like right there. I was at 48,940 stitches out of 265,824 complete, and 18.411% complete, 9 pages complete. This right here, this is the edge of the page. This is the edge of the project. So I need to do, so it's this column plus 4 stitches in this column. So I'm just stitching, I'm doing 14 stitches in the row instead of 10, just so I can go ahead and finish it up and not have to change colors again in just a 4-stitch column. So I'm hoping to be done with this this column plus 4 for next week's show. We'll see, as I said, you know, with the whole shoulder issue. But yeah, I'm really pleased. My goal was to be done with this first row of pages by the end of the month. So if I'm not done with it by the end of the week, it's okay. And you know what? Sometimes you have to modify your goals because life happens, and that's just how it is. All right, that is everything for this segment. So I think we are ready to move on to the next one. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, yummies. Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about, yummies. I haven't been getting a lot of happy mail like I did in December, but I'll show you this. Let me get it to where I can hold it up. Okay, how fantastic is this keyboard? So this is the fault of Michelle Bindi Stitchy, who has this amazing clickety-clack keyboard, and I love listening to it when I'm watching her videos. And then some friends at the office got ones, and then, you know what, I decided to get one for when I'm working from home, working remotely. So, hold on, let me get to where it's not going to type on my screen when I make the noise with it. Okay, you ready? How fabulous is that? It's pink, as you can probably tell, and it lights up in the rainbow. That is my yummy for this week. I love it. It's making work a whole lot easier because I can have it down on a better level versus having to like reach up to type on it on the keyboard on the laptop. So that's my yummy for this week. What other yummies do I have? Dammy has recovered from COVID. That's a yummy. I'm seeing a chiropractor for the first time, and she's really helping me with my pain. Yummies don't have to be like physical things for me to show you. I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now, and it's really yummy. I finished some really good books this week. I soaked in Epsom salt bubble baths a couple of days this week. Yummies don't have to be things you purchase. So, yeah, so those are my yummies for this week. And let's move on and talk about what I have been reading, watching, and listening to. We are now going to talk about what we've been reading, watching, and listening to. This is a reminder about our new 2022 RAL Read Along, which is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day, every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. And there is a thread in the Facebook group for the first seasonal or quarterly OWL, which is January, February, March. And by participating in that, you earn entries into the year-long challenge. And at the beginning of 2023, we'll draw for 3 grand prizes. If you have any questions, there is a thread there, or you can always email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. I got like steam from my coffee, like under the rims of my glasses. I need to drink some water probably. We have not heard any, knock on wood, any sirens from the firehouse today, which made for a really fun drinking game 2 weeks ago. So We'll just still drink water anyway. Okay, what I've been reading. I continue to read How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can by Amy B. Shire. I am reading a book for this month for the Unashamed Love Collective, which is a book club that I am in. And this month we are reading Walking the Bridgeless Canyon, Repairing the Breach Between the Church and the LGBTQ Community by Kathy Baldock. It is a fascinating read. Like, there's so much information that I had no clue about. And so I'm really enjoying that read. I'm continuing to read a poem or a saying or whatever, however you want to label it, every night from the book Inward by Young Pueblo. I am reading and writing in Get Untamed, the Journal by Glennon Doyle for another book club I'm in. I finished reading book 9 in the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. This book was called Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. It was so good. It was very long. It was over 900 pages, which is why I'm behind on my reading challenge, because I was reading a 900-page book. But it was so good. I really enjoyed it. It was worth the wait. And yeah. And then I'm listening to the first book in the series by Carrie Maniscalco called Stalking Jack the Ripper. And I've only listened to like the first 2 chapters, so I'm barely in, but it's about a woman who wants to learn about working with her uncle to do like autopsies and such, but set in the like Victorian time period. And some of what I have been watching: Law and Order Special Victims Unit, both the current season and episodes for the That's Messed Up and SVU podcast, Not Safe for Children. Gilmore Girls rewatching season 2 with the I Am All In with Scott Patterson podcast. I watched season 6 of Queer Eye. Oh my word, it was so good. I cried through every episode, and everybody that I've talked to that's watched it has said the same thing, that they cried through it. It was such a good season. Dammy and I finished, it was a rewatch for me, a first watch for them, season 2 of Ted Lasso, and I was watching them to see what their reaction would be to like the very last scene of the season. And while their reaction wasn't as like as mine was, where I like sat like this for like 5 minutes, they were as shocked as I was. So can't wait for season 3. I'm watching series 9 of Father Brown. I only have 1 episode left of that. I finished watching the series of A Discovery of Witches. It was season 3, and it's on TV week after week, but they released it all at once through a streaming service, and so I was able to watch all of it, and it was so good. I'm watching the Book of Boba Fett. I haven't watched this last week's episode yet. I need to do that. I'm watching season 2 of Home Before Dark on Apple TV, and it is a series based on this, I think she's 9, this 9-year-old girl who wants to be a journalist, investigative journalist, just like her dad, and is trying to solve the mystery of a missing child from her dad's hometown, and trying to figure out if the wrong man was put in prison for it. I finished season 1 last night and watched the first episode of season 2 last night, and it's so good. And then I'm watching season 15 of Murdoch Mysteries. As always, listening to my favorite murder podcast. They celebrated their 6th anniversary, their 6th podiversary this week, which is amazing. Love their show. And random Spotify playlists. And that's most of what I'm reading, watching, and listening to. There's some stuff you just don't need to know. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our December, January, February Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Ow. So this started on the 1st of December. It runs through the 28th of February, and it's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to winter. No whips are allowed. You have to start your project December 1st or later and finish by the 28th of February. All the other rules are in the show notes, ggkcs.com, as well as in the Facebook group. I go over those in detail on the first podcast of every month, which we've already done this month. So we'd like to say a huge thank you to all of our prize donors. If you're interested in donating a prize, you can email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. And you can see larger images and more info about the prizes in the show notes, ggkcs.com. And I want to give a shout out to people who finished projects in the last 2 weeks. So they are Brittany M, Jane S, Jane with a Y-S, Jennifer H, Caitlin M, and Tracy O. Great job, y'all. I'm clapping down here low. Great job, and keep working on your projects. You have about a month and a half to go before the OWL is over, and you might be one of our prize winners. So work on those projects and get them posted. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for Ask the Geeks, the part of the show where you ask us questions and we try to answer them. This one came from YouTube, and it's a question from Sam H. Question not related to this particular episode, but where are you based? I found you through a Scottish crafting podcast list, as I've been looking for a localish podcast that might showcase UK-based designers and yarns from time to time, but everything seems to suggest you're US-based. So what's up with that? Love the concept of the podcast, though. More multi-generational queer crafting, please, and thank you, and hearts. Well, Sam, here's the story. And I did respond to Sam so that they wouldn't have to wait to hear my answer. But as if you've been around for a while, any length of time, well, if you've been around for a while, you know that we lived in Scotland for 4 years. So from 2013 to 2017, we were based in Scotland, and I would go back in a heartbeat. So we are on a lot of UK-based lists because of our time there. We've been living in the Pacific Northwest since our return to the US, but I would, like I said, I would move back to Scotland in a heartbeat. I would move back to just the UK. I would move back to the UK in a heartbeat. I'd move back to Scotland. I would move to Wales, where my bestie is. We have a special place in our hearts for the UK, and and I am knitting from a UK designer. The Dust of Snow Wrap by Helen Stewart. Helen is UK based, so there's a little bit. And I'm pretty sure there's a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn at some point in the Dust of Snow Wrap. So there you go. There's a couple. But yeah, we loved our time in Scotland, and it was so special, and we were so excited to be able to participate in so many activities, fiber-related activities, while we lived there in the UK, and it was definitely a very special time. So thank you for asking, though, Sam. Always happy to answer that question. And Dammy is knee-deep in school and play rehearsal, and so we'll get them back on here as soon as they're able. But yeah, they're in their next to last quarter of school before graduation, so they are definitely busy, on top of recovering from COVID during the first 2 weeks of school. So there we go. All right, well, if you have a question for us, we at this point have answered every single question that has been asked. We've not said no. We of course reserve that right, but we have not said no yet. So if you have a question for us, you can post it in the Ask the Geeks post in the Facebook group. You can post it on YouTube like Sam did, and I will copy it over to my list and we will answer it. You can email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram, cc_JavaPearl. There's lots of options. So send us a question and we'll be happy to answer it. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And with that, we made it to the end of the show. Yay! Thanks for sticking with me through it. Thanks for your understanding and not recording last week. And hopefully we will be able to be with you on a weekly basis still. And I appreciate any good thoughts, healing vibes towards my shoulder. And yeah, I don't want to lose the things that make me happy and that I love. So I am open to all your good thoughts and healing vibes for my shoulder. So okay, announcement time. Okay, first up, I'm a rep for the Black Needle Society. You can go into their vault, and what is in the vault is extras that were left over from previous boxes. So there's not always going to be extras of everything, but sometimes there are. So they post those in the vault, which you can get to by going to theblackneedlesociety.com and looking under, I think it's under the shop, you can find the vault. And you can use my coupon code, which is JavaPearl5, JAVAPURL5, to get 5% off everything in the vault. And you can use it more than once. And yeah, please do. It lets them know that that I am sharing this with you. And if you want to get in on the every other month subscription boxes, so they have those. They have the every other month subscription boxes. There's a wait list for that. Go to blackneedlesociety.com. At the top of the screen, you can join the wait list. And I think that's still where it's at. They had an update to their website. Hold that thought. Let's just double check, because I don't want to be giving y'all the wrong information. Okay, hold on. Because I did give you the wrong information, because it's not there anymore. Let's see where they moved it to. Hold that thought, y'all. There's lots of really awesome things in the vault. Okay, so what you need to do is you go to blackneedlesociety.com. There is a tab that says shop and subscribe. If you click on subscribe, and it says there's no products in this collection, but if you keep scrolling, it says subscriptions currently full, join the waitlist. So join the waitlist there. And under subscribe, shop and subscribe, you'll also find the Black Needle Vault, which is where you can use the coupon code. So there you go. So they have those boxes that are every other month that there's a wait list for. And then they have special edition boxes that are a variety of things. I'm super excited about the Stars Hollow, our second Stars Hollow retreat later this year. Yeah, lots of fun things. We are co-hosting the Pride Along that started last year, and it runs through the end of June this year. There's a YouTube video, if you go to our show notes, ggkcs.com, that explains how to do it, how to participate in it, and our hashtag is hashtag GGKCS Pride Along 2122. We say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the podcast. We love y'all so much, especially though to those of you who support us financially. We've gotten some one-time donations as of late, and we're very grateful for those. Thank you so much. If you would like to help support the podcast financially, which is used primarily for shipping out prizes and technology behind the scenes, there are a few ways. Patreon and YouTube Join are sites where you can pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives and earn a reward or earn rewards or perks based on the level you donate at. You can find out more and sign up at patreon.com/ggkcs or by clicking the join button under any of our YouTube videos. There is a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you'd like to make a one-time donation. We are bookshop.org affiliates, which is an online bookstore with a mission to financially support local independent bookstores. If you purchase a book from our shop, we earn a commission, and local independent bookstores also earn money from your purchase. You can find our shop at bookshop.org/shop/ggkcs. And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our site first, click on the appropriate Amazon link, and then do your shopping as normal. We earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you were going to be doing anyway. You can find us online at ggkcs.com. There you'll find links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, the Facebook group, all the things. I think that's it. After the credits, there's a video of Pink Pearl as normal. And again, thank you so much for your understanding of me not being able to record last week. And thank you so much for your continued support. And we love y'all a lot. Remember, wear your masks, get vaccinated and boosted, be safe. And I won't go on a rant again like I did earlier, but please do it, if not for yourself, for the people in your life or people you might meet on the street or at the store or whatever that are in a more vulnerable place. And until we see you again, happy crafting. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye. What you doing? I think this is only the second time I've ever seen you in that cave. Do you like it all of a sudden? Or are you a little angry because Mama wouldn't let you have my dinner? I think that's it. You're very cute. You're very cute in your cave. I see your tail. You're a very cute baby.